What a wonderful day and what a great opportunity it is for us to welcome you onto our new house. Just an amazing, amazing day, and we couldn't be more delighted. Governor Herbert, First Lady Jeanette, thank you for coming. It's a great pleasure to have you with us today. Distinguished members of our Utah State University Board of Trustees, of course, President Stan Albrecht and First Lady Joyce, thank you so much for being here with us. Members of the Utah State Board of Regents, and the Commissioner, members of the legislature, our wonderful faculty, students, alumni, and friends. We are so honored and thrilled to be able to welcome you on this most auspicious day at the Huntsman School of Business. We are delighted that you have a chance to see some of the great views out of this valley. And it will change, I think, during the day, as March often does. But we like to say that this is beachfront, and it's not going to change. We just don't believe that there's going to be smokestacks at the south end of this valley, and maybe Senator Hilliard, you can stay around long enough to make sure that doesn't happen. It's a wonderful, wonderful spot. It occupies the space that used to be covered by Lund Hall. Lund Hall was built in 1935 as a freshman women's dormitory, and I'm happy to say that my mother, Luila Anderson, was a resident advisor in Lund Hall when she was a junior at Utah State University, and she's with us here today. So, Mother, thank you for coming as well. One other postscript about Lund Hall, and that is that when Lund Hall was dedicated, the dedicatory prayer was by Elder Melvin R. Ballard, and it'll be our honor to have Elder Ballard's grandson give that dedicatory prayer for this building today. This day marks an important milestone in our journey to build a top-tier business school here at Utah State University, and one that would have been very difficult for me to have imagined when I was a student here in the early 1970s, when I was studying over in the George S. Eccles Business Building, and it was practically brand new. It was dedicated on May 8th, 1970. For me, today is all about the Huntsman School community. It's about our students, our faculty, our staff, our alumni and friends. It's about tradition, it's about legacy, and it's about gratitude. From that first class of 8 students in the commercial department of Utah Agricultural College in 1894 to today's more than 3,000 students, from a small space over in Old Main to this beautiful edifice in which we're meeting today, the College of Business at Utah State University has grown and built strength upon strength. Our ceremony this afternoon marks yet another important milestone in this journey. It is made possible due to the generosity of so many of you who are here today and many others who were unable to join us. First and foremost, we're grateful for our students. We're grateful for our students of yesterday, and we're grateful of our students today, who trust us with their most valuable resources, their time, their talents, their hopes, and their aspirations. Many of you today were students here once. You know what makes this place so special. You can be proud of the Aggies today. Just as we are proud of you as Aggies of a former day. Our students are hardworking, they're earnest, they're energetic, and they're entrepreneurial. Most work while they go to school. Many of them have families, and yet they understand the value of the education that they're getting so well that they willingly pay extra tuition to study here at the Huntsman School. The world needs these great Aggies. Thank you to our students for their confidence in us. We're also grateful for our tremendous faculty and staff, those who established the legacy of excellence and those who are carrying it on today. In my years as a student at Utah State University, I was privileged to know and learn from such great teachers and scholars as Del Gardner, Leonard Arrington, Reed Durchie, Vern Bueller, and Larzette Hale, among others. I wish they could be here with us today to see the school. Perhaps they are. Now a new generation of committed and talented professors has replaced them. Some are homegrown Aggies. like Frank Caliendo and Ben Blau in our economics and finance department, Jeff Doyle and Chris Skousen in our accounting department, Sterling Bone and Chris Hartwell in management, and Kelly Fidel and Pam Dupin-Bryant in our MIS department. These exceptional scholars and teachers have returned to us after having studied at some of the world's finest graduate institutions, eager to give back to the university that nurtured them. Others like Professor Larry Walther and Vijay Kannan and Jim Davis and Meredith Ferguson and Cassandra Davis and Kathy Chudaba, and many of the approximately 60 other faculty and nearly 50 staff who've joined us in the last 10 years have come from widely diverse backgrounds, attracted by the Aggie spirit, our great students in this beautiful valley. I express my deep appreciation to our faculty and staff who work tirelessly each day to bless the lives of our students. Finally, our loyal alumni and friends. We've benefited so much from your friendship, your faith, and frankly, your funds. This great edifice and the renovation of the George S. Eccles building had a total project cost of $50 million. The state of Utah provided approximately $15 million. The rest, some $35 million, had to be raised. This is unique in the history of Utah State University. To all of those of you who helped provide the nearly 70% of the total project cost that made this building possible, thank you so much. We could not have had a facility of this quality without you. Of the many who deserve special merit and recognition, clearly Karen and John Huntsman are at the top of that list. Karen and John have chosen to devote their talents, energy, and considerable fortune to saving lives and to prepare the next generation for positions of leadership and contribution in our society and to our culture. It is only fitting that this lovely edifice should be named the John M. Huntsman Hall. Ladies and gentlemen, Karen and John Huntsman. We will hear from John and Karen later in the program. I want to recognize two other leaders who could not be here with us today. Jeff Clark, the chair of our capital campaign, and David Huntsman, president of the Huntsman Foundation. Both served on our National Advisory Board and actively participated through our planning process for this wonderful new building. Our board members will well remember the day we arrived at a critical juncture in our planning. On that occasion, it was Jeff Clark and David Huntsman who stood up and passionately advocated that we needed to stretch our vision and ambition beyond the original $30 million project plan and erect a building that would be truly a great asset to the university and the community and its students for generations to come. Jeff's words that day were, "Go big or go home." President Albrecht was in attendance that day, and he gave us the green light to dream big. Thank you, President. Today, both Jeff and David are serving as mission presidents for the LDS Church, which is why they're not able to be with us. We miss them. We're glad we followed their counsel and admonition, although there were some nights that was a little bit of tossing and turning, I can assure you. Thanks to David and to Jeff. My special thanks goes also to Spence Eccles and Lisa Eccles and the George S. Eccles and Dolores Dory Eccles Foundation. We are proud to share the great Eccles family legacy with our students. They are unable to be with us today, but Bud Scruggs is representing them. And Bud, we hope you will take back our gratitude to Lisa and to Spence. As you tour this building this afternoon, you'll see that the design of Huntsman Hall integrates seamlessly with the George S. Eccles business building. This is a great asset to us. The integration of these two facilities makes each one a more powerful and valuable asset in itself. There are many others who have made wonderful contributions, and while I am not able to mention them all, their names are listed in the program. I do especially want to thank Deloy and Lynette Hansen, Gail Miller, Kem Gardner, Dwayne Shaw, Crystal Magalit, Young Chul Hong, Brent and Bonnie Beasley, Dave Peterson, Carolyn Tanner Irish, Harris Simmons, and Scott Anderson, each of whom have made essential gifts. Thank you all so very, very much. This building is also made possible, as I indicated, through the support of the state of Utah, and I want to personally thank Governor Herbert and our legislature especially our Cache Valley delegation, including the dean of the delegation, Senator Lyle Hilliard, who is with us, and all those Aggies on the Hill. Your support on behalf of all taxpayers of this great state signals to us that you value the very real benefits of higher education. Thank you so much. And we would be remiss if we did not thank our architects, LMN of Seattle, GSBS of Salt Lake City, our general contractor Spindler, the many subs, the USU facilities, and especially our team at the Huntsman School, Ken Snyder, Jim Elwood, Dave Patel, and Kim Larson, who worked so hard to make all this possible. Finally, please allow me to thank the members also of the Perry family who are with us today. This magnificent room in which we meet now is named for a most distinguished alumnus of Utah State University, L. Tom Perry, who graduated from USU with a degree in finance in 1949. Elder Perry, a Logan native, was a proud Aggie throughout his entire life. We are honored to associate the Huntsman School of Business with a man whose life exemplified energetic, enthusiastic, ethical leadership. While we celebrate the opening of this beautiful new building today, our purpose remains to be a career accelerator for our students and an engine of growth for our community, the state, the nation, and the world. Our aim is to bring together our talented faculty, staff, alumni, and friends to create life-changing opportunities for our students. That is how we answered John Huntsman's challenge to produce students who can compete with the very best anywhere in the world. We are fortunate to start with a good foundation. This is a school, after all, that has produced a Nobel Prize winner, Lars Hansen, who studied economics at USU, and scores of highly successful business professionals and entrepreneurs, including the worldwide CEO of Deloitte, Jim Quigley, who is with us today, an accounting graduate, NFL Hall of Famer, Merlin Olsen, a finance graduate. Not only did he graduate in finance, he got a master's degree in finance, Merlin did. The president of the Nike brand, Charlie Denson, a marketing graduate, and on and on. On that foundation, thanks to the Huntsman family, we have endeavored to build a world-class undergraduate business program. Our mantra at first was simple: get better fast. Better students, better facilities, better faculty, and better programs. That effort is bearing fruit. Just in the last 5 years, our students have garnered academic achievements. And I'm going to ask that we turn down, put down the side shades, because I want to show you a little video about this. In the past 5 years, our students have won such accolades as Boren and Goldwater scholarships, Elijah Watts Sells Awards, which is an award given to the very top students in the country. Typically, only 40 students or so out of 100,000 who take the CPA exam win this coveted award, and we've had 3 of them in the last 3 years. And the national and international championships that our students have won go on and on. This year, for example, the average academic record for the incoming cohort for our Huntsman Scholar Program, which is our honors program, is a 3.92 GPA. And a 31 ACT score. I could go on and on, but let's take a moment and see this video.
As a high school student, I had had a few experiences up on campus, and at one of these campus events, I ventured over to the business building, where a student took me under his wing and he took me up to the top floor, and we looked out over the whole view of Cache Valley. That's really where he got me thinking how I would dare mighty things as a Huntsman student.
The Huntsman School of Business is all about excellence and reaching new heights. That expectation of excellence is not only demanded and expected, but you want to achieve it.
Coming to school, I learned that I needed to be able to be smart about the way that I was working. And the School of Business really helped me know how I could accomplish my big goals that I had in life.
The things that our donors are allowing us to achieve and our students' accomplishments, it's amazing. We've had graduates that have become leaders of global organizations, and I'm part of it. And And that's so amazing. It's exciting to see the excellence and the rising to the top in the Huntsman School of Business.
I walk around the business building and I hear of students talking about their goals to work for Goldman Sachs or their plans to do an internship in New York, and I think, wow, these students are doing great things. How can I do better?
My junior year of college, a classmate of mine, we co-founded an organization called Effect.org. It's an organization we're building a chain of private schools in northern India. I met one of our students in India. His name was Raysal. He was 13 years old and had never been to a school before. And so he had to start in preschool with our 5-year-olds. And it didn't bother him. He came every single day and he sat in there with these 5-year-old kids in their classroom and learned how to write the alphabet and learn how to read. Realizing that that was something that was so life-changing to him helped me understand that the work that I was doing could be bigger and that I could make even a larger impact. I became so grateful for the things that I had, but then also so fueled and propelled to want to do more.
When I finished with my PhD, I sat back and said, there's no other place I want to be than Utah State. I want to be able to give back and be a part of the Huntsman School.
The things I was able to learn and the people I was able to meet and the experiences that I had have shaped me so much as a person. They've shaped the way that I think about life, the way that I approach business, the way that I approach relationships, and I'm so grateful for that.
I wake up every morning thinking, I love college. I want to come to school, learn from the professors, make new friends, and I would just give a huge thank you to all the donors and the people who've made this possible.
As a graduate and now as a faculty member here in the Huntsman School of Business, I look at the many, many amazing people who have given back to Utah State. We continue to see excellence in our alumni and in our current students. And if there's anything I could say, it is thank you so much for all you do for the Huntsman School in Utah State.
That was a faculty member, a current student, and an alumna. The alumni, the woman that you saw there, Moline Dastrup, works now at Google and is doing absolutely wonderful things there. We wish you could talk with each of our faculty members and our students today, and you'd get that same sense of dynamism and excitement. This has been the journey that we've been on. Get better faster, better students, better faculty, better facilities. And it's been made possible through the time, talent, and treasure of an entire Huntsman School community of students, faculty, staff, alumni, and friends, of which you are a great part. Now I'd like to turn the time over to two people whose support has been absolutely critical in getting us to this day. First, we'd like to hear from Dr. Stan L. Albrecht, president of Utah State University, who's led this university through a truly transformative period in its history. And then would like to hear also from Governor Gary Herbert. President?
Thank you so much, Dean, for those inspiring words and giving us a little bit of history of what has happened here. And I certainly want to personally acknowledge the critical role that you've played in what we're celebrating today. So thank you very, very much. Welcome to spring in Cache Valley, huh? What a wonderful sight to look out at so many friends. As the Dean has indicated, so many of you have played such critical roles in what's happening here today. And so from all of us at Utah State University, thank you. Had a special poignant moment with Sister Perry, and we talked about how Elder Perry would have loved to have stood here with us today and looked out at that great view across Cache Valley. So thank you for being here and for your family members joining us as well. We appreciate that so much. This has been a remarkable and exciting time at Utah State University. A couple of weeks ago, we celebrated Founders Day, which was really a celebration of the 128th birthday of the founding of this great institution. And we used that opportunity to really celebrate our continued expanding excellence and reach. Not just here at what I call the mothership, not just here in Logan, but across the entire state. And so we used that time to invite our faculty, our students, and community members at our regional campuses, which now do extend across the state, to join with us. And we saw firsthand, and it was such an exciting and emotional experience to see firsthand how lives are being changed by what this great university is doing, and by what I think is really an exciting new model for the 21st century land-grant university. Our regional campuses, combined with our award-winning distance education program, combined with the evolution of amazing new technologies, really have allowed that reach to extend. And as I said that night, have allowed us to take all of the promises that were reflected when President Abraham Lincoln signed the Morrill Act in 1862 and extend that beyond the place limitations that were originally there. And so we're excited and proud of that. So today makes another very special day in the 128-year history of this great university. And as the dean indicated, our focus today, as was true at Founders Day, is on our students appropriately, because all that we're doing is really designed to help extend and expand and create for them the kind of experiences that we want them to have. So let me add to the dean's welcome, my welcome to each of you, and again, my thanks for joining us. We've come here today to honor and recognize the Huntsman family and to celebrate the impact that they are having on our students and on our university. What John and Karen and their family have done and are doing for us reflects the great passion that they have for our students and for students everywhere. It's also a manifestation of the shared passion and commitment that we have with them and with all of you to become truly one of the great undergraduate business schools in this great country. In December of 2007, we celebrated a gift that resulted in adding the Huntsman name to our School of Business. We acknowledged on that day, on December 3rd, 2007, that gift reflected great confidence and trust in us. We recognized that. We acknowledged it. And John and Karen, we enthusiastically accepted the challenge that came with that gift. And so we hope the Huntsman family and all of you here today will agree that we are delivering on that trust. In addition to the naming of the school with the enhanced visibility and reputation that has brought to our university, we now have this beautiful new building, as the dean indicated, funded by a collaboration among the taxpayers of the state of Utah. So thank you, Governor, Senator Hilliard, and others who are a part of that. We have a growing cadre of students whose educational experience is being enhanced by new faculty who are being hired into Huntsman presidential chairs and into other positions that are being leveraged by the Huntsman gift. We have students whose educational experience is further enriched through their selection as Huntsman scholars, or as they were given opportunities to participate in a variety of international internships or study abroad programs. And that list continues to grow. So today, as we dedicate this beautiful new building, our celebration is much broader. In fact, the most important thing is not so much the building itself, despite its great beauty and functionality, but what will go on in this building. In his book, The Great Teacher, Frederick Mayer observes that sometimes at universities we look upon buildings, laboratories, and stadiums as our primary measure of progress, when in his words, they may only hide an empty spirit. This new Huntsman Hall and all of its beauty will do just the opposite. It will be a place where those things happen that will cause spirits to soar. Here our students will be taught by the finest faculty anywhere, and where they will receive their own start on the journey to become the next John Huntsman, or Spence Eccles, or Carolyn Tanner Irish, or Crystal Cull Maglet, or Elder Stevenson, or the lawyer Lynette Hansen, or Jim Quigley, or Ron Labrum, and the list goes on and on and on. One of my favorite writers, Ivan Doig, in his book, The Sea Runners, describes an amazing but yet unfinished accomplishment of four men who took on the treacherous task of trying to travel by canoe in the dead of winter from a Russian settlement in Alaska to a Pacific port in Oregon. Doig uses what I've always found to be very interesting language in describing that faithful journal as more than possible, less than enough. In the several years since we began this journey with the Huntsmans, we might argue that more has been accomplished than thought possible. But still, it is less than enough, because we have so much yet to do in order to reach the heights that have been set for us. And we want you all to know that we're committed to continuing that climb to ever greater excellence. As described by one of the early leaders of this great institution, that little acorn that was planted in 1888 has now grown into what truly is a mighty oak, one that will continue to extend its influence through a faculty whose scholarship and expertise are acknowledged everywhere, and whose students, through the values they espouse and the distinction of their training, will be a beacon to the larger world. So finally, John, we're so pleased that you can be here with us today, and for Karen's loving care that has made that possible. Following the event where we announced the Huntsman naming gift to our College of Business, John sent me a letter that included the following, and I quote, "The December event was just magnificent." And you may remember writing these words: "Never in all my days with great universities, the American Red Cross, the White House, etc., 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 have we attended a celebration of such class. Everything from the food to the music to the video was just perfect. I will be forever grateful. This new chapter will be a true Huntsman USU love affair." I've always appreciated John's great generosity and kindness, and I want him to know how honored we are to continue that Huntsman USU love affair. John and Karen have had at least two driving passions beyond their wonderful family. One is to defeat cancer. The other is to create unparalleled opportunities to educate young people. And so we are so pleased to be their partner with one of these great passions. At that event in 2007, I quoted words from John's mother's tombstone in a cemetery in Fillmore, Utah. "Sweet are the uses of adversity." John, you've had more than your share, but you continue to turn adversity into opportunity and to give back in a selfless and an extraordinary manner. There have been many special opportunities and gifts that have come through my opportunity to serve here as president, but one of the greatest gifts that comes with my presidency, John, is to be able to call you a friend. Thank you.
And now it will be our great honor to hear from the governor of the great state of Utah, Governor Gary Herbert.
Well, thank you, Doug, and Jeanette and I are honored to be with you all here on this very significant celebration, this beautiful venue and wonderful day. And I see a gathering of people here who love education, who love Utah State University, not just the Aggie ice cream, but everything about Utah State University, and love the state of Utah. And we see the impact that all of you have positively on the state of Utah, what it stands for and what its principles and values are exemplified here today. I appreciate the welcome of Dean Anderson, and he kind of summed things up, and President Albrecht has done some wonderful things. We appreciate the faculty and staff and the students that come out of this institution and give so much to our great state. I'm going to say on a personal note, President Albrecht, we know you've announced your retirement, and after 11 years of great service here, and I appreciate the fact that you said you'll stay on until the Board of Regents find a comparable replacement. And I'm confident in the 5 or 6 years that it will take to do that, we can find a suitable replacement for you. So we appreciate your leadership. This university has grown and expanded and just flourished under your leadership and your leadership team. John and Karen Huntsman, we can't say enough about the Huntsman family. And as one who's kind of been adopted into the family, isn't that right, John? We appreciate the great contributions they made in so many different ways, and again, we cannot overstate, I think, the blessings that Utah receives because John and Karen Huntsman call Utah home. And the benefits have been mentioned, here have been many, not just the charitable work that they've done in so many different venues, their support of education, cancer research, the science behind that, their philanthropic efforts. But we ought not to forget the business contributions, the economy, the economic development that takes place because of the Huntsman family. And I know the second generation, Paul's here, and as the baton is being passed on to the second generation, I know they just completed an acquisition and an investment of over $300 million for a new business in Cedar City. So their benefit continues on and expands, and we are the beneficiaries of the Huntsman family and the leadership of John and Karen. Not unlike, by the way, Utah State University, which we also benefit significantly. If you heard the president talk about the regional campuses, it's not just here in Logan, beautiful Cache Valley, but the 6 or 7 or 8 regional campuses they have, the extension service which goes into every one of our counties, the benefit that we receive, that ripple effect throughout our state and beyond, is absolutely just remarkable. So we thank all who've been involved in this effort and the contributions of so many. Now, I'm here representing really 3 million people plus and growing as the 5th fastest growing state in America today. People come here for the great quality of life, the association with people like yourself, economic opportunity. It's a great state that's really setting a good example. But one of the examples we see being set here today is the ability to work together, the cooperation and collaboration that takes place. Now, I'm sure that most of you have my first inaugural address on your nightstand where you study it on a regular basis, but I talked about the need for us as a state to come together in public and private partnerships of every kind. And if we would do that, we would find unlimited possibilities of what we could accomplish as a state. This is an example today, the John M. Huntsman Hall, and this campus of people coming together and working together for the common good. It is really a team effort. And as I use in my little hokey explanation many times, you've probably heard me say TEAM, T-E-A-M, really stands for together, everyone achieves more. Again, we've learned that from the Huntsman family and many other who've been very generous in their donations in saying, we will lead out, we will be a catalyst, we will start it, but we need others to follow. We need others to join in. And that example, again, is in so many different places and ways in our state, but we see it here on display today with the culmination of many people coming together for the common good and the benefit that we'll receive not only as a campus here of Utah State, but throughout our entire state's borders and permeating throughout our country and literally around the world. So I'm grateful to be here with all of you here, and I'll be mercifully brief as I say thank you. My job here is to say thanks to one and all for your contributions, for what you do to make Utah such a great state. I've said many times in the political arena that the best hope for America are the states, and the best state of all is the state of Utah, which is in fact that shining city on the hill and a great example to the country that they need to see today. So thanks to you. It's working. We appreciate it. Congratulations to one and all. Thank you.
Thank you, Governor, and thank you, President. Such a wonderful thing to have you with us here today. And now it is my distinct pleasure to introduce my good friend and fellow classmate from both undergraduate days at Utah State University and also from the baby ward at LDS Hospital in December 1949, Dean of the Kane College of Arts, the incomparable Dr. Craig Jessup. Craig has generously brought the American Festival Chorus, accompanied by Associate Professor Kevin Olson, here to perform for us today. Dean Jessup. Wow, wasn't that wonderful? One more hand of applause. Now, before I introduce our dear friends John and Karen Huntsman, let me share one more short video that I think really encapsulates the journey that we've been on.
Karen and I, together with our entire family, wish to express gratitude and thanksgiving for the magnificent opportunity to be affiliated with one of the finest institutions of higher learning in America, Utah State University. We are indeed sensitive and respectful to those who have gone before us in providing a remarkable foundation and a reputation for the College of Business. Numerous discussions have been held and will continue to transpire regarding programs and classes and students and scholarships that provide a better understanding of today's global economy. The world is changing dramatically. In business, students must understand the role of emerging nations. They must study the volatility of currencies in order to comprehend financial commerce in a dynamic world. Our faculty and administration will constantly be reviewing the practical aspects of business courses offered to our students. We should be vigilant to the current and future business climate. Hopefully, we will earnestly seek the most enriching seminars of study that will give our graduating students a jump start on either Wall Street or Main Street, in either Toronto or Tremonton, in either Beijing or Pocatello. Truly, the School of Business on this beautiful and unique campus should strive to teach not only the latest state-of-the-art business practices, but the inculcation of ethics in all of its forms to ensure that each graduate is a man or woman of unquestioned integrity, whether it be on the Forbes 400 list or in the quiet surroundings of our private lives and families. Our quest for wealth can, in fact, be a healthy adventure, but only so far as we share our abundance with those who suffer, or in situations where our personal benefaction can indeed provide a positive influence in the success of individuals or institutions. At the end of the day, our character, together with our charity, will determine our ultimate destiny.
Do you recognize the narrator? Those words were spoken nearly 10 years ago, in 2007, when John and Karen made their initial gift to the school. The vision laid out by John is the journey that we've been on since, and the challenge we've endeavored to meet. In a very real sense, it is a never-ending journey, as President Albrecht suggested. For just as we are building on a foundation that was laid by those who came before us, others will build on and improve on what we do today. We are honored that John and Karen and their family and the next generation have pledged to join us in each step along the way. And now, John and Karen, if you'll join me up here. I feel like
I'm back in Blackfoot, Idaho, where I was born, and I've been given way too much and received far too much credit when I look at the faces of you who have done so very much. And we stand on the shoulders of people who have gone before us. And they've made this university a great school. And I'm embarrassed every time I come to the campus because they make us feel like we've done something unusual or special. And we haven't at all. We've thrilled with every moment and enjoyed every footstep. And we can't say thank you enough to Stan, finest university president in all of America. I've been to all these campuses. I hope, Governor, you were short-sighted on your thoughts of 5 or 6 years. I had something more like 10 or 11 in mind. So thank you, President, your sweet wife. Doug Anderson is an unusual man, and he certainly has allowed us to expand with his vision and his tremendous support. And I don't know of any dean anywhere. We had a group of deans meet us in Philadelphia. We had the most outstanding dean from Russia's leading school and Brazil's leading business school, and 2 of America's leading schools. I won't tell you which ones they were, because I don't want to get a tomato fight going between Doug's school and my school. But and then we had China's leading deans, but we had all these deans together, and I had the privilege to chair it. I've been involved in business schools now for almost 50 years around the country and on the East Coast and West Coast. And I have to say there's no finer dean in America that I've ever had the privilege to work with than Doug Anderson. Doug, thank you so very, very much. And those of you who have helped us make this dream come true, it's by no means a one family or a one person job. It's taken the heart and soul of so many of you in this room and others. And I won't name names, but please know that Karen and I share this podium today with each of you. And I love you. And we could never have ever done it without the help of a great team and working unitedly together. Just a couple of thoughts, if I might, on the school. This exquisite new facility represents the very best of the human spirit and their individual integrity. As one passes through the doors of Huntsman Hall, our childhood lessons of honor and kindness and love should clearly be felt in one's heart. Yes, within these walls, learning will transpire. The uneducated will be lifted and elevated by the professors to comprehend useful business tactics and strategies. When employed in the marketplace, whether on Wall Street or Main Street, the teachings learned here will improve the mind and hopefully the pocketbook. But academics are of little value unless they are blended with the more human values of charity, integrity, honor, and fairness. Thus, it will always be my hope, and Karen's as well, that the students who enter Huntsman Hall will be engendered with a positive sense of upliftment, enlightenment, edification, honor, and charity. Yes, one can take all the classes one desires, but they will be meaningless unless a co-product is integrity. The quote from the late British Prime Minister, Sir Winston Churchill, goes as follows: With integrity, nothing else counts. Without integrity, nothing else counts. A business education is a process. Its usefulness is totally dependent upon the degree of ethics employed by the individual student. Unfortunately, today's business schools do not teach integrity or honesty or positive thinking or self-confidence or, for the most part, how to take a risk. These and certain other critical attributes are forged into our hearts and our minds through our preschool, our elementary schools, our high schools. Many of them are copied from our parents. Thus, there are two varieties of students who will enter these halls. Some are innately intelligent or are the results of positive gene pools, where an individual simply comes to earth smarter and better equipped for life than his or her mother, father, or grandparents. On the other hand, there are those who are destined for disaster. And no matter how hard they try, they seem to go from one failure to another failure with seemingly no loss of enthusiasm. Whichever is the case, our superb professors here will see to it that the proper and most enlightened business courses are taught at the Huntsman School. Moreover, there will never be a substitute for an individual to refrain from listening to his or her very own moral compass. Deep down, we all know right from wrong. Yes, the subjects taught here will be critical and helpful, but our very own drive, our unrelenting determination to succeed, our honesty will determine our legacy. And in the process, we cannot forget that business expression of old, which states, "Tough times never last, tough people do." Our students must be men and women who compete fairly and fiercely and win without cheating. Moreover, our graduates must always realize that their word and their handshake are both more powerful than any legal contract. In Huntsman Hall, they will be taught that graciousness is next to godliness. We must respect and be kind to customers, partners, our employees, and even our competitors. They all play a part in our success. In essence, we must remember that life is not fair, but we should be. May our professors in this beautiful facility teach with inspiration and preparation, and may the students be attentive to their professors. Hopefully, students will leave class each day with a vision of something worth pursuing and worth devoting their lives. But it is critical that the teachers and professors create a vision that causes the students to be excited and enthused about future prospects. Huntsman Hall must be a beacon in America for ideas, for innovation, for new concepts, and above all, a vision of what we can do and how we can improve the current status quo. We must remember what Helen Keller said. She was both blind and deaf, and she made the following comment: "The one thing worse than not being able to see is to have no vision." Thus, changing the status quo or instituting a new vision is the definition of a leader. Never confuse a leader with a manager. There is a vast difference between the two. A leader will quickly change the status quo of his or her surroundings, whereas a manager will continue to operate the business as usual. The Huntsman School of Business is established to create leaders. Many of us are overzealous in our desire to create as much wealth as possible. Our quest for wealth should be a healthy adventure, but only insofar as we share our abundance with those who suffer or are in situations where our personal benefaction can indeed provide a positive influence in the success of individuals or institutions. Therefore, I leave you this day with an expression that should forever characterize our students and their quest for success. It goes as follows, quote, no exercise is better for the human heart than reaching down and lifting another up. Thank you, my dear friends. Thank you for the great privilege to be associated together. And thank you for my sweetheart for helping me these last 7 or 8 years as we've struggled with some health issues. And the Lord's blessed us to help overcome some of those issues. Sweetheart, would you care to say anything?
I love what Abigail Adams wrote to her husband, John. Abigail was living in Boston, raising the family, and John was trying to help this nation be born. And she wrote a letter to him, and she said, you cannot be an inactive spectator. We have too many high-sounding words and too few men that correspond with them. When I look at my husband, I think he has never been an inactive spectator. Whether he is struggling to get up every morning and he would rather stay in bed, that's not who he is. He knows there is work to do, there are lives to fill, to make better, and there is a world out there in which to live and make it a better place. I pay tribute to him for his desire every day to make a difference. No matter how we feel physically, we can always make a difference. And I hope that is taught here in this school. And I hope they take the book, Winners Never Cheat, Doug, and they teach that honesty and integrity and your word is your bond. Nothing else is going to be as important as teaching that to these students. Grateful to be here, grateful for each one of you who make a difference in this life. As I go out and look at you and see what you do in this world, it's wonderful. It's wonderful that we have that opportunity, that we live in this free land of America. Grateful to be here and stand by my husband's side. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Please, this is one of our granddaughters, Ruby, who attends Utah State. Ruby holds in her hand a beautiful portrait. I was going through some pictures a few days ago and came across this very interesting picture. We're in the L. Tom Perry Pavilion. It's a picture of Barbara and Tom Perry and Brother Russ Ballard, who will be dedicating this building in a few minutes, the same spot where his grandfather dedicated a building back in 1937. And the three of us are standing there together having a great time. And I saw that and thought that picture should be placed somewhere in the confines.
You introduced Ruby as a Huntsman scholar.
Oh, Ruby went to England last week, and I thought she was in good shape. She left with a smile on her face. Some wonderful young man. I'm still looking for him. Met her over there and gave her a diamond ring. She got engaged. Can you believe it? She's just a little girl. So she's up here, and she's one of Utah State's best, and we're very proud of her, along with our 55 other grandchildren. Thank you, Ruby, and it will now be our great privilege. Thank you, sweetheart, for your very kind words. Be a privilege to have my dearest friend, Elder Ballard. Thank you.
You join me in a prayer of dedication. Our dear Heavenly Father, we are so grateful to be here in this beautiful building that carries the name of our dear friend, John M. Huntsman. May the John M. Huntsman Hall be everything to the students that John has just asked the faculty and the leadership of this institution to see gets into the hearts of every student that will come here and be educated. We had a beautiful music, Heavenly Father. We've already heard in song, "Bless this house." We pray that from the rooftop to the foundations, that this building will be secure and will be protected from the elements and will stand here as a beacon for years and years to come of bringing thy sons and daughters through an educational process that will make leaders out of them, and that they will in turn be able to go forth into the nations of the earth and lead in very special ways, in ways as John and Karen have led here in our own community. We ask the Heavenly Father to watch over and bless John particularly and Karen with the energy and strength to continue to fulfill every purpose for which they have been sent here. And our faith and our prayers we ask thee to grant unto them and to their family. Now this hall we're in is the L. Tom Perry Pavilion. We're grateful to be able to have his name attached to this beautiful auditorium. And we're grateful for all those who have contributed money, who have had classrooms and various offices and other parts of this building named after them because of their contributions. We invoke a blessing upon President Albrecht and his leadership, and Brother Anderson as the dean, and all those that will now carry on the legacy that has been so beautifully articulated by what we have heard from all those that have spoken to us. May thy peace then go with us. May thy blessing remain here upon this beautiful building, and may the students rejoice for the privilege of being educated here. and learning and meeting one another and even finding companions that will stand by their sides as Karen and John have stood by each other. For this we then humbly pray, and we invoke this blessing by the power of the priesthood invested in me and in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
Wow. Thank you, John and Karen. Thank you, Elder Ballard. Some of you may not know this, but Elder Ballard's grandfather was actually born right here in Logan. So these are great and wonderful ties to this building today. Ladies and gentlemen, that concludes this portion of the program. We want you, however, to join us just outside this room along our grand staircase. If you'll gather down along the grand staircase, where we're going to conduct our symbolic ribbon cutting and then gather for refreshments down on the floor below. As this building was built for students, we've also invited some of our students to join us at the front of the building for another ribbon cutting. And you may join us there if you wish as like. And you may wander around this building as long as you like and get to see it. We hope you'll acquaint yourself with the whole building. Following the brief ceremony outside, we will then declare Huntsman Hall open and invite the rest of the campus community to come in and tour this magnificent building. Thank you all so very, very much.